Okay. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the program organized by GDSC Students Club from Siangad Institute of Technology and Science. And today we have with us is Rishika, who will guide us for interview preparation tips. So let me introduce everyone of you to her. Rishika is currently working as a software developer engineer at Linden. She was a former intern at Adobe. Thank you, Rishika, for taking your time out from your busy schedule and joining us here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Athar, for introducing me, and I'm glad to be here. So I hope that this session will help all of you to, be interview ready. So for this, I have created all the points that I have experienced so far in a well structured manner, so that it will be better for you guys to understand it. So yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Yes.
Okay, so we can start with the session. So I have structured the interview process in 5 points, starting from your introduction to your feedback, how to take feedback from the interviewer, and I'll be giving tips on that only. So let's start with the introduction part. So I have divided the interview process into 5 parts. First is your self introduction, then second is your technical skills questions. Then third point is the discussion on your project side, then fourth point is the questions related to your behavior round, and the fifth point at the end is your feedback round. So in the introduction, try to be very specific and try to give a brief introduction about yourself, including all the expertise that you have and the work experience that you have so far. So because self introduction is very important, because the interviewer and you are interacting for the first time, so it is very important to have a kind of bond and communication at the start of the interview to make a communication flow with the interviewer. So that is why prepare a self introduction in brief. Don't take too long, or don't create 2 to 3 paragraphs. Just 2 to 3 lines will be enough to have a brief introduction about yourself. Then the second point is be very confident about your skills and your tech stack. So this point is for your technical questions round. So for example, if you are applying for software development roles, then your technical questions will be first related to DSA, and then you will have a discussion on your projects also. So in the DSA side, try to be very confident about all the skills that you are mentioning in your resume, or that you are speaking to the interviewer. Try to resonate your resume and what you are communicating with the interviewer in proper way, and try to showcase some proofs also. So for example, you can mention some competition participations where you have got some good ranks, or try to showcase some winnings that you have so far. So that will not only make you confident about all the learnings and all the skills that you have, but also the interviewer will be able to understand that okay, you have applied all those skills in practical scenarios, and you have tried to participate in various competitions and events as much as possible. So this is about technical side, and always try to be very concise and clear what you are saying. Don't try to just say long paragraphs and just to extend your conversation. Try to be very concise, so that the interviewer will be able to cross question you, or will be able to communicate with you in a better way. So this is about your technical question round. Then after technical round, you will be discussing about your projects also. So try to mention some good projects in your resume, because what happened in the interview, the interviewer will have your resume on the front of the screen. So they will pick the top skills or top projects, or maybe top work experience that you have mentioned in your resume, and they will try to focus on it and discuss upon it. So I can share my experience. So I have shared my work experience when I was I was giving the interview for Adobe. So they asked me some questions related to the work experience that I have mentioned in my resume. For example, explain me some scenarios where your teammate was not able to deliver the project that was assigned to him or her at the correct time, and how will you manage that situation. So because of all the things that I have mentioned in my resume, I was able to discuss it with the interviewer. So it's a kind of a communication, two-way communication that you have to make with you and the interviewer, and that is why you have to definitely focus on what you are mentioning in your resume. So this for this, what you can do is have a very clear resume structure where you can structure all the things at first. If you are giving priority to your work experience, that at the top have a work experience section where you can mention all the work experience that you have so far, and try to describe it in 2 to 3 lines, so that the interviewer will be able to understand that what kind of position or what kind of work you did in that particular work experience. Then after that, you can have a section of all the participations or all the events you have attended, and why you attended them. So this will show that you are very active in communities and you are very active in learning and understanding about others. So then you can have one section related to your projects. And in projects, I always say that focus on the impact and the problem statement of the project. Because if you just mention that, okay, I have contributed this part in the project and this was my tech stack, no, this will not work. Focus on the impact of your project, that why you have chosen such problem statement and why you chose to work on it. So this will showcase that you think about the why of the problem statement before implementing it. Then you can discuss about it, that okay, this was the impact, this was the matrix that the success matrices that you understand before implementing your project. And then you can work on or discuss on the contribution that you did in particular project. In the contribution, you can then mention the features that you worked upon, the hurdles you faced and how you overcome them, how you solve them. And of course, definitely when you mention your tech stack while you are discussing your projects, there will be questions about why you choose one tech stack over other. For example, in case of database, they can ask you why you choose relational database and not non-relational database, something like that. Why you choose Node.js instead of Python, something like that. So be very confident about the skills that you are mentioning in your resume, and try to have a proof of concept by showcasing the projects that you have worked with the particular tech stack. So this was about on the project side. So we have till now covered the technical aspect, where you will be covering about DSA questions, or maybe the questions related to technical stuff. For example, in software development it is DSA, but in other profiles it can be other questions. Then we have also covered about project section, where you will be discussing about your work experience and your projects. If you are a fresher, then mostly projects will be discussed. But if you have some experience, 1 or 2 years, or maybe if you are applying for full time role, then mostly your internship experience will be discussed. So then at the end, or maybe after covering your project side and after covering your technical rounds, you will be asked about some behavioral questions. So one questions I gave the example was that what will happen if one of my teammate was not able to submit the project at the right time. So how will I manage that particular situation? Or it can be if one of my teammates need help but I don't have the bandwidth to help him or her, then how will I manage such situation? So these kind of situations are known as behavioral questions. So mostly these questions are related to the mission and vision of company. So every company has a mission statement and some visions on which they try to focus on if the candidate is able to have some values associated with those missions and visions. So try to read about the job descriptions and the company before going to the interview, so that you will be able to answer all those questions. So how can you prepare for that is, once you understand that okay, maybe team building is one of the key aspect that this company is very particular about, then in team building there can be questions like just I have mentioned few examples. So all these questions are related to team building. Then you can prepare about these questions before going to the interview, that okay, this was the kind of project where I worked on a with a team, and there I faced some situations, and I can curate these situations with these questions. So that's how you can prepare for such questions. And while I'm answering the behavioral question, I will share one tip. Try to focus on star formula. So what is star formula? S stands for situation, T stands for task, A stands for action, and R stands for results. So first explain the situation. For example, the situation I gave you. Then the task, how you understand the problem and what are the tasks you took from that. So one of the tasks can be, okay, I didn't have the bandwidth to help my friend, but that my task was to help him at least get some help from my friends. So it can be one task from my side. Then the action you took, in action you can mention that how many people you reached out, and how you reached out, how you try to help that particular person who was facing the issue to complete the project in deadline. And in the result section you can mention the results that you finally got after completing your actions and after completing your task. So this is the star formula. So for answering all the behavioral question, try to structure in such a way that first you will explain the situation, then the task, then your actions, and finally the outcome or the results. So this is about the behavioral questions. So we have till now covered about technical tips, the project side tips, and then the behavioral round. And this is all what you can expect from an interview. And at the end, definitely ask questions to the interviewers related to the day to day work life that looks like in their team, or what is the expectation you can expect from the role, or what is the tech stack they can use, or you can even ask for feedbacks. But most of the companies do not allow to give the real feedback to the candidate exactly after the interview. So but definitely you can ask for it. So at the end, try to have some questions so that it will look like a two-way communication. So yeah, these were the few tips from my side, and I hope this will help you. And few more points that I wanted to share is, first, try to have a clear communication, clear and engaging communication. It should be two-way, always two-way. It should be not like that the interviewer is asking you a question and you are not able to answer them properly, or the other way, that the interviewer is not getting the chance to ask the right question and you are the only one who is saying a lot. So try to be very clear yet engaging communication with the interviewer. Then the second is, try to clear all your questions before solving your problems. So for example, in data structures and algorithm questions, try to clear all the doubts related to the input and output expected. Try to solve questions related to the data structure used in your input, then the range of your input, all these questions. Please clear them before solving the problem, because it can waste your time if you are not clear about requirements, and finally you solve the problem in a wrong way. So try to clarify all your questions, and while you are writing your solutions, don't forget to dry run it before submitting to the reviewer to review it. So this will also show that okay, you are doing the right testing. You are dry running your code before submitting it, and try to cover all the edge cases, all the timeline cases, everything before submitting it. So this will show the testing part, how particular you are about testing and delivering the clean and right code. Then always discuss about the time and space complexity of your solution, and always write it in the code, also in the comment section. Or if you are writing it on doc, then definitely mention all those things. You should write test cases, you should write space and time complexity, all these things in written way. Because sometimes it happens that while you are giving the interview, then after the interview your doc will be reviewed by two to three people. So that is why I try to document everything that you are verbally communicating with the interviewer. So this is one thing. Document time complexity and all the edge cases, all the normal cases as well, and try to justify that why you are using specific data structure to solve your problem. For example, why you are using arrays instead of linked list, right? So this will show you that you are very specific about the kind of data structures you are using, and you are seriously trying to optimize your solution while using the right algorithm and making it compatible with the right data structure. So this is one point. And at the end, create a good structured resume so that you can discuss upon it. So in terms of good structured resume, as I mentioned, you can have some structure in your resume, like this is my work section, this is my events or participation section, this is my project section, this is my education. So have a very good structure and one page resume, so that the few things, the few eye catcher points that your resume will have, you can discuss upon it and you can have a conversation around it. So yeah, this all these things is from my side, and if anyone has some question, then feel free to ask him it in the comment section, and I will be happy to help.
Yes, friends, feel free to ask your questions.
Hi. Okay, there are many folks right here.
Yes, yes.
Thank you everyone for joining today. Which coding language should we learn for coding interview? Okay, that's a very good question, Abhishek. Okay, so I can share from my experience that try to focus on some object oriented programming language. So for example, you can focus on C++ or Java for your data structures and algorithm part, because most of the companies do not prefer Python, because Python already has many built-in libraries and many built-in functions. So what will happen, the interviewer will give you a problem statement and you will solve it in one line in Python code. But that is not expected in the interview. They want you to solve the problem in proper algorithm way. They are not expecting you to write a one line code with a function. So that is why I try to focus on using C++ or Java. And one more important thing here is sometimes questions are asked on CS fundamentals also. So for example, object oriented programming, or it can be data structures, an algorithm, it can be DBMS, your database management, then it can be networking. So all these things, try to focus on them also. So that is why I will share that you can choose C++ or Java if you are focusing on DSA, but for development you can choose any tech stack.
Thank you. Thank you, Rishika, for answering Abhishek's question. So
Yeah.
next question here comes.
Doing internship in first year is good or not? Definitely it is good. It is good to have thing, but it is not required. So I will say that in first or second year, try to focus on your learnings and try to be very confident about the skills that you want to achieve. So if you will start doing internships in the first year, somehow this is my personal experience, personal perspective. So somehow you will lose the essence of getting the expertise in particular tech stack, because then you will focus on the internship and the internship projects and the skills that are required in that internship. Maybe that is not the skills that you want to pursue in your future, because the IT industry is so vast and is so big that you cannot focus on just one tech stack. It is that in one company you are working on one tech stack, then in other you are working on other tech stack. So I will recommend that focus on one technology and try to get the expertise on it, but try to be very flexible about the tech stack that you are doing. So I will say that focus on your learning in the first year, and if you are trying to have some internship, it is good, but do not make it so huge that you are giving your 100% only to the internship and you are not focusing about the learnings.
Yes, yes.
How much we have to do DSA for interview purpose, and how to prepare for DBMS for interviews? Okay, so there are many available resources on the net. One is Geek for Geeks, of course. I think everyone know about it. So they have some quizzes around DBMS, networking, and all the CS fundamental subjects already, so you can practice there. But I will say that focus on, if you really want to understand the concepts, then try to learn it from the standard books. So for example, for DBMS, take the standard book of DBMS that we use in our college to understand the concepts and to practice it. Then you can go forward with the quizzes and the questions available on the net. So you can just Google it, that what are the past questions that were asked in the XYZ company you are applying for in DBMS or maybe in networking. So you will get all the questions, the list of questions, and from there you can practice it. And for DSA, of course, you have to practice and practice. So
Yes.
we cannot we cannot just say how much we have to do DSA practice, because in every interview you will get a different kind of question. So it's all about your logic building skills and how good you are in your implementations.
Yes.
Yeah. How to get internship in first year? Okay, so in first year there are uh, okay, so I also did internship in my first year, but it was not related to software development. It was about it was on an academy as an educator. So if you are focusing on doing such kind of internships, because you can learn from their time management and other soft skills, then you can apply there. And there's no hard skill, or there's no specific, for educating, you just have to understand the concept and you can go for it. So for example, in my case, I taught about the physics, chemistry, and maths, because at that time I was not very confident about my coding skills. That is why I was not able to educate on it. But if you think that you are good at it, then you can go also for educate having an education internship in coding also. But there are other internships, for example blog writing, or for example fellowships. For example, in some NGO you are working as a fellow to do some good jobs, some volunteering experience. So you can get definitely you can do all the such thing in your first year. And you can apply for such things from internshala, from there are a lot of websites available. From Linden also have good um or good job postings there. So you can definitely apply there. But I will say, in the first year, try to focus on your learnings and do not just run with the internships and the jobs. Work Having work experience is good, but the top priority is your skills.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. How is work life in Linden, and will also like to know when internship applications open for Linden. Okay, so work life balance at Linden is really good. Like, Linden is one of the top companies all over the world to have a good work life balance. So definitely 100 on 100 for that. And when the application starts, so mostly it start at the end of the year, or sometimes in summer also. But Linden mostly, hire through off campus only, and there's no specific date I can share with you then when the application starts. So it's around, I will say, in December and July only, but I cannot share the exact date.
Okay.
And one thing I can share about work life balance at Linden is there are multiple programs that we do at Linden. For example, we have fun game sessions every Thursday. Then we have special in-day programs where every month, where uh, it's a kind of a holiday where we have no meeting, where we have where we do not have to do any kind of work. It's just that many events will be organized, and if you want to participate in those events, then you are good to go. You can participate in them, you can win goodies, and you can interact with folks who are there at Linden. So it's kind of a good program that we celebrate at Linden. And there are many other opportunities also. So there is some perk up benefits, then there are life insurance benefits. So there are many benefits available at Linden, and this makes work life balance at Linden very good.
So it's fun and growth both.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
How to prepare for product based companies, like how we can get off campus offers, like what extra things we need to prepare when we go for off campus than on campus. Okay, so the interview process is quite similar. It's just that you have to make sure that you get the invite link, the coding invite link. So for that, what will happen? Your resume will go through a ATS process. So ATS is basically, you can say, an automation system. Which will kind of track your which will kind of parse your resume, and try to check it if it is compatible with the job description or job profile where that you are applying for. So if your resume is ATS compliant, then you will get the online coding test link. And after that, everything will be same. It's like you will have to compete with others in the online test, and if your skills are good enough to, if you are able to crack the coding round, then you will redirect it to the interview, and all the rounds will be same. One thing that you can expect different is there can be some questions related to system designs. So it's, if you are applying as a fresher, so it will not be too hard, but you have to have some kind of understanding about how systems are developed. So if you have done some project, then you can share that why you choose some xyz database, then why not the other tech stack. So you can have some kind of discussion around that, and that's how you can solve the system design questions. But apart from that, off campus, on campus is quite similar. The interview process is similar.
Okay, so any more questions? So drop your questions in comment box if there are any.
One thing for on campus and on off campus round I
Yes.
wanted to share is about referrals. So there are two type of referrals. One is formal referral and the other is informal referral. So what is formal referral? When you ask an employee of XYZ company for the referral, then what they will do is they will apply in their job portals, in their company companies portals, to apply from your behalf, that okay, I think this candidate is applicable for this particular position, and I think he or she is a good suit for that. So I want to give a referral for him or her. Then in terms of informal referral, what will happen, let's say you have a friend in XYZ company and he or she thinks that you are a good fit for XYZ opening. Okay, then what will happen, they can directly contact the hiring manager or their manager, that okay, I think I know someone who is a good fit for this position, and let me just give you the contact details of that candidate, and we can have a discussion about how he or she can contribute with us. So that is a kind of informal referral. So there are two kind of referrals. So I will suggest all of you to have some good connections over LinkedIn, Twitter, and other social media sites, because you never know what conversation can give you a right referral.
Yes, yes. So thank you, Rishika, for giving us your question.
Yeah, thank you so much. Where can I get internship from? So for getting internship, you have to apply. You have to apply on every portal that you know so far. So few of them are Linden, of course. Then you can apply the on the direct career site of the companies in the job portal. And then you can apply. There are many, internshala, hirect, then there are freelance portals also, freelance, Upwork, Fiverr, etc. So you can also get good offers from there as well. So try to apply it as much as possible, because when you apply from 100, you will get response from 10, and then you will proceed with maybe 5 for the interview round. So try to apply for as much as possible, and do not get disheartened with the, if you are not getting results from applying for jobs or applying for any other opportunity, because it happens with everyone. So it does not mean that if you apply for 10 if you are applying for 10 job posting, then you will get the response from all of them. So it happens with everyone. Even for me, when I applied for my first the internship that I did in my first year, I applied for a lot of jobs, and I get response only from one. So I will just say
Okay.
keep applying, and you will get the response. And in the parallel, of course, you have to keep learning.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So thank you, Rishika, for giving us your time and giving us all the knowledge which you have, and especially your knowledge which you have got from your experience.
Yeah, thank you
So
so much,
thank
Galva. It was great talking to you.
yes, yes, yes. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining, everyone.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Yes,
And all the very best for your future.
thank you, Rishika.